Hello, my friend. It's Reece here, and we are on a topic that has been very near and dear to my heart, and that is purpose. In my coaching and counseling practice, a lot of people will come to me wanting a solution for many of the problems that they're going through, whether they're suffering with toxic thinking, damaged relationships, or just wanting to grow their faith in God. What I have found is that there is one common denominator, and they all lack purpose. My desire is to help you to discover your purpose, remove all the barriers, and walk in it with all boldness. And that's why this topic has been so gripping to me. And today we have a wonderful guest with us, Naima Ward. Welcome, Naima.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Naima is a wife, a mom, a professor, a pastor, an entrepreneur. Seriously, woman, how do you have all this time?
I'm still trying to find out.
And she is a very dear friend of mine, and I'm very excited to announce that we are going to be ministering together at our upcoming event, the Promise Conference, which we will talk about shortly. But Naima has a very unique story, one that I think you're going to be able to relate to. So welcome, Naima. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So I know that you love to help women to walk in their purpose.
Absolutely.
But you weren't always living in your purpose, were you?
No, I was not.
So tell me, what was the pivotal point for you where you discovered where you weren't doing what God called you to do?
You know, Reece, when I think about it, it takes me back to that very same moment when I was working at a job, and I had several jobs, not too many, but those that I was really passionate about, so I thought. And I felt like an eagle in a birdcage. And that to me was the moment, defining moment, my aha moment when I said, something is not right here. I have to begin to live my purpose on purpose.
Wow.
Yeah.
My purpose on purpose.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. So what did you do to start to change that? Because sometimes the revelation is inspiring, but we almost get stuck. What did you do to change that?
Right. I mean, I call it my discovering process. I didn't know what to do at first. I had to really go through a process to learn who I am, why am I here, and it's beyond working a job. I had to really discover, and I had to begin to take off the many layers of what people told me who I am. And I had to spend time with God and really just enjoy the discovering process, because a lot of people, they fight up against it because it's like you're going against what people have spoken over you instead who you are, and even what you said about yourself. And so getting past that and getting to that place where you're comfortable with who you are, you're excited about who you are, and you're beginning to live your purpose on purpose.
Nice, nice. So tell me, what is the most exciting part about how you're living your purpose right now?
It's freeing. You know, it's freeing when it's something that you begin to do. You literally feel like an eagle who's soaring. You're soaring, as opposed to your wings are, you know, you're not able to stretch out and be who God has called you to be. And it's so freeing. You don't have to pretend any longer. And sometimes it's not that you're pretending because you're pretending. It's just that you don't really know who you are. You don't even
know what else to do.
Exactly. And so you're going down this path, right, of trying to figure it out. And it's almost like you're on a tight rope and you just don't know which direction to go in. You're kind of stumbling your way through. But it's like that solid line, you know that you know that you know, in spite of what people may have said that's totally contrary to what God's purpose and plan for your life is.
Nice. Well, I think a lot of our viewers can really relate to that, feeling like they're an eagle trapped in this nest. But do you always feel like you're an eagle flying?
You know, not all the time. You have those moments where you may know your purpose and you begin to live your purpose on purpose, but you have those little hiccups where, you know, you're comparing yourself to others. Or things aren't happening as quickly as you would like them to. You know the promises of God and you're confessing the promises of God, but they're not happening as
Yep.
quickly as you desire
So
them
been
to.
there.
So sometimes, but see, here's the thing. Knowing that you're an eagle soaring is different from feeling like an eagle soaring.
Yes.
And that's a total different thing. Although you may not feel like it, you still know.
That's
that
right.
you're
Did
an
you
eagle
hear that?
soaring.
Knowing it is not feeling it.
Yes.
We can't always go by our feelings. That is a really, really great point.
Yeah.
Well, I could hang out here all day with Naima. But Naima, would you please leave our listeners with one piece of advice? Because I think a lot of them are going through a lot of the struggles and challenges that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I did for a very long time.
Yeah.
So what is one piece of advice that you would offer to them?
The number one thing that I would say is don't be afraid to discover who you are. Don't be afraid to discover who you really are.
Yes.
It's a tough process, but when you fight against it, it makes it even more challenging. When you really just surrender yourself to God and you surrender to the process, it becomes so much more easier.
Amen.
Now you may begin to experience things and learn things about yourself that you're like, I didn't know that, but it's part of the process.
Absolutely.
And it's a beautiful thing because again, it's so freeing.
Oh,
It's
so true.
freeing.
You know, I've often said that if God's revealing it to you, then he can easily heal it.
Oh, that's good.
So, well, Naima, this was wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
We've
for
really
having
enjoyed
me.
having you. Well, that's all the time we have for today. But I want to take a moment to talk to my sisters out there, my gal pals, and invite you to our upcoming event, the Promise Conference. I love conferences and I love to plan, but I've recognized that not everybody is a planner. So if you are considering registering for the Promise Conference, I want to encourage you to do that today. Space is limited. It is an intimate environment where we get to personally minister to each other.
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to encourage you, listen, in order to experience change, you first have to be the change. And so I encourage you, come out. It's going to be powerful. Women encouraging one another, hearing the word of God. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be life-changing. And I truly believe that it's going to change the trajectory of your life.
Absolutely. So grab your tickets today. Yes. Do not delay. I know you're busy. I know you have a lot of things that are going on, but get this on your calendar. And if you're considering this for yourself or for a loved one, I want to encourage you to register for the Promise Conference today. You will not regret it.
No, you won't.